I miss RPGs where progression truly means something, where every choice, every victory, and every failure leaves a mark on your journey. And I believe you feel the same. So today, we're diving into 12 games that remind us what real growth feels like. Not just numbers, but transformation. Imagine a place of wonder, a world where magic and technology exist side by side, never truly at peace, but never fully apart. Steam-powered zeppelins fly over elven forests, while dwarves forge rifles infused with mechanical sorcery. This is Arcanum, a land caught between invention and enchantment, where progress is as much a moral choice as it is a path to power. You begin as the sole survivor of a mysterious airship crash, armed with nothing but questions and the freedom to shape your destiny. In Arcanum, you can be anything: a noble gunslinger powered by technology, a wandering mage who bends reality, or even a silver-tongued diplomat who wins wars with words. The game features a classless, point-based system that lets you mold your character however you wish. 8 core attributes like strength, dexterity, and charisma form your foundation, while dozens of derived stats, from poison resistance to fatigue recovery, expand your possibilities. 16 primary skills let you gamble, heal, repair, sneak, or persuade, and every single point you invest changes how people react to you. Technological progress alienates mages. Magical energy disrupts machines. Even your equipment interacts with the world's balance. Wear enchanted armor near a scientist and watch his gadgets fail. What makes Arcanum unforgettable is how progression isn't just mechanical, it's philosophical. Your choices literally shape civilization's future. Will it be ruled by magic or revolutionized by steam? Few RPGs let your evolution ripple through the entire world like this one. Bloodlines drags you into the dark, seductive, and rotten underworld of Los Angeles, a city where mortals and monsters coexist behind the fragile veil of secrecy known as the Masquerade. You awaken as a newly turned vampire, cursed and reborn into a world of hunger, politics, and danger. Every move you make, every alliance you form, and every word you speak shapes not just your story, but how others see you. This isn't a game about heroism. It's about survival, power, and temptation. The brilliance of Bloodlines lies in its clans. Your choice at the beginning defines everything: your powers, your social status, even how you experience the world. Playing as a Nosferatu forces you to stalk the sewers, forever hidden from human eyes, while a Toreador moves effortlessly through high society, charming mortals with beauty and grace. Each clan's abilities, strengths, and curses make every playthrough unique, creating some of the best replay value ever seen in an RPG. Built on Valve's Source engine, the game captures a moody, early 2000 Los Angeles perfectly. Neon-lit streets, smoky nightclubs, and alleys dripping with danger. You'll wield vampiric disciplines, firearms, and cunning to dominate or survive among both humans and rival undead. Based on the iconic tabletop series by White Wolf, Bloodlines delivers true role-playing depth, where morality, dialogue, and consequence shape who you become. Whether you cling to your humanity or embrace the beast, Bloodlines remains one of the most unforgettable RPGs ever created. UnderRail is an old-school isometric RPG that throws you into a grim, claustrophobic future where humanity has abandoned the surface. The world above is long dead, toxic, frozen, and forgotten, and the last remnants of civilization now cling to survival in the underground metro tunnels, known as the UnderRail. These sprawling corridors, stations, and caverns form a new world where politics, science, and survival collide in a brutal fight for dominance. You play as one of the nameless dwellers of this subterranean society, starting with nothing but a few tools and the freedom to choose your path. There are no heroes here, only factions, each with its own ideals and methods for staying alive. As tensions rise between rival groups, your decisions will determine who thrives, who falls, and whether the fragile balance below can endure. The progression system is unforgiving, but deeply rewarding. Every skill point matters. Whether you invest in hacking, stealth, psionics, or brute strength, your build defines your fate. Choices open some doors, but close others permanently. The game doesn't hold your hand. It expects you to learn, adapt, and survive on your own. Visually, it embraces its retro roots with dark, detailed pixel art that perfectly matches its oppressive atmosphere. Each encounter feels tense, each discovery meaningful. UnderRail is a game where true progression isn't just about leveling up. It's about understanding the world, mastering your build, and earning every inch of survival in the darkness below. Grim Dawn drops you into a dying world, a grim fantasy apocalypse where humanity is barely holding on, Iron is worth more than gold, and trust is the rarest resource of all. It's a brutal action RPG that thrives on deep progression and endless customization, built for players who love tinkering with builds and mastering every layer of combat. The heart of Grim Dawn lies in its dual-class system, letting you combine any 2 of 6 base classes: Soldier, Demolitionist, Occultist, Nightblade, Arcanist, and Shaman. Each class comes with over 25 skills and modifiers, and combining them creates hybrid builds that feel completely unique. You can forge a Spellblade, a Pyromancer, a Necrotic Assassin. The possibilities are endless, and every point you invest changes how you fight. Progression doesn't stop there. Hundreds of item-based skills, over 20,000 magical affix combinations, and the Devotion system, a massive constellation map granting passive bonuses and divine abilities, give you total freedom to craft your own identity. Even your choices during quests matter. Entire villages can live or fall based on what you decide. Factions remember your actions, rewarding loyalty or vengeance with new quests and enemies that hunt you down. And when you finally build the perfect combination of power and skill, it feels earned, forged in chaos. Grim Dawn is more than loot and levels. It's a journey of mastery, risk, and survival in a world that never forgives mistakes. The Surge 2 is an action RPG with Souls-like combat that throws you straight into chaos. Your plane crashes on the outskirts of Jericho City after a mysterious nanostorm tears through the skies. You wake up days later in an abandoned prison, surrounded by corpses, broken machines, and the distant echo of violence. The world outside has collapsed into madness. Soldiers in exosuits enforce martial law, rogue robots hunt indiscriminately, and a black storm looms on the horizon, devouring what's left of civilization. Armed with little more than desperation and an exosuit grafted to your body, you fight your way through the ruins of the city, scavenging parts from fallen enemies. Combat in the Surge 2 is fast, brutal, and surgical. You can target limbs, slice them clean off, and use the scraps to upgrade your gear. Every battle becomes an opportunity to evolve, rebuild, and grow stronger. Progression here isn't about leveling up numbers. It's about survival through precision and mastery. Every implant, weapon, and armor piece you craft changes how you play. Do you favor agility and dodges or raw power and heavy strikes? The choice is yours, and every configuration feels personal. Jericho City itself is a labyrinth of metal, smoke, and decay, filled with hidden paths, shortcuts, and dangerous encounters. Exploration rewards skill and curiosity, while the constant threat of losing your hard-earned progress keeps tension high. The Surge 2 turns every victory into hard-won evolution, a perfect blend of Souls-like challenge, deep customization, and post-apocalyptic atmosphere. From Breath of Fire 1 through 4, the series has always nailed that classic sense of JRPG progression, slow at first, but deeply rewarding as you grow with your party. After 5 and 6, things got a little rough, drifting away from what made the originals so special. But since I've always had a soft spot for Breath of Fire 2, that's the one I'm recommending here. It's a turn-based JRPG from the golden Super Nintendo era that combines traditional combat with meaningful story progression. You play as Ryu, a young man who wakes up to find his entire village and his identity erased from memory. What starts as a personal search for truth turns into a grand journey about destiny, faith, and the bond between humans and dragons. The game shines through its unique fusion system, letting you merge characters with elemental spirits to unlock new forms and abilities. This mechanic doesn't just change visuals, it transforms your strategy completely. Your team evolves both mechanically and emotionally, growing stronger as their stories intertwine. You also get to rebuild your own town, gathering allies from around the world. As you invite new residents, your settlement grows, unlocking new shops, abilities, and story moments. Combined with its deep lore and emotional soundtrack, Breath of Fire 2 remains one of those RPGs that truly capture what progression should feel like: steady, personal, and full of meaning. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is a tactical isometric RPG where progression is about more than gaining levels. It's about ascension, transformation, and the weight of your choices. Set in a world torn apart by a demonic invasion, you play as the Commander, a mortal destined to lead armies against the Abyss. But the deeper you go, the more your humanity slips away, replaced by mythic power that reshapes everything around you. Every decision in Wrath of the Righteous has consequences, not just for the story, but for who you become. Will you rise as an angel of justice, a demon of chaos, an immortal lich, or something else entirely? Each mythic path changes your abilities, dialogue, and even the fate of entire regions. It's a game where progression doesn't just make you stronger, it redefines your role in the universe. Combat is rich and strategic, offering both real-time and turn-based systems, letting you plan every move or act on instinct. You'll command armies, recruit allies, and face impossible odds, but victory is never free. The choices you make ripple through every quest, shaping relationships, alliances, and the moral fabric of the world itself. With deep customization, branching dialogue, and epic storytelling, Pathfinder stands as one of the most rewarding modern RPGs. Your progression isn't just measured in levels, it's measured in what you're willing to sacrifice for power. Terranigma is a top-down RPG that starts small, as a curious boy in a peaceful underground village, and ends with the recreation of the entire world. You play as Ark, a restless teenager living in the mysterious town of Krista. One day, he discovers a sealed door that no one has ever been able to open. An old wise man warns him not to touch it, but of course, like any curious young hero, Ark disobeys. Inside, he finds a strange box, and when he opens it, disaster strikes. Everyone in his world is frozen in time, and the surface world above completely disappears. To undo his mistake, Ark sets out on an extraordinary journey. His mission, to restore his people, revive the continents, and help civilization rise again. Along the way, he'll witness the rebirth of life, plants, animals, humans, and guide them as they rediscover science, art, and culture. Terranigma isn't just about progression in power. It's about the evolution of the entire planet. The controls were impressive for the Super Nintendo. Ark could run, jump, and pull off combos, adding a layer of agility that made combat feel fast and responsive. It stood out from the Zelda-style adventures of its time, with smoother movement and better rhythm. Visually, it's one of the Super Nintendo's most beautiful games, with vivid colors and detailed environments that push the console to its limits. The soundtrack is haunting and emotional, amplifying the themes of life, loss, and creation. Despite its controversial ending, Terranigma remains a masterpiece, a game about restoring not just the world, but the very essence of existence itself. Kingdom Come: Deliverance is a first-person open-world RPG that trades fantasy and magic for raw medieval realism. Set in 15th century Bohemia, it follows Henry, a blacksmith's son thrust into chaos after his village is destroyed in a brutal civil war. With no dragons, spells, or shortcuts to power, the game builds its identity around realism. Every skill you master, every sword swing, and every decision takes time, effort, and consequence. Progression here is slow, but deeply satisfying. You don't just gain experience, you learn. Swinging a sword, brewing a potion, or even picking a lock are all skills that must be practiced through hands-on experience. Henry needs to eat, sleep, and maintain his gear. Neglecting these basic needs weakens him. Food spoils, weapons dull, and armor breaks. Everything decays, and so must be repaired, cleaned, or replaced. Combat is another level of immersion. It's physics-based and punishing, relying on timing, positioning, and stamina. Each weapon feels unique. Swords are agile, but weak against heavy armor, while maces and axes deal crushing blows but demand precision. Fights are brutal, tactical, and always tense. The world itself feels alive. Every non-player character has a daily routine, reacting dynamically to your actions. Committing crimes, for example, affects prices, trust, and even law enforcement. Quests are open-ended, offering multiple ways to complete them depending on your skills, reputation, and creativity. Kingdom Come rewards patience and authenticity, turning simple survival into one of the most meaningful progressions in RPG history. Final Fantasy VI is a turn-based JRPG originally released for the Super Nintendo in 1994, though North America knew it as Final Fantasy III. Directed by Yoshinori Kitase and Hiroyuki Ito, with music by Nobuo Uematsu and art by Yoshitaka Amano, it became one of the most defining entries in the entire franchise. The story takes place in a world where technology and magic, once thought lost, collide again. The oppressive Gestalian Empire seeks to conquer the planet by harnessing the power of magical beings known as Espers. You play as Terra Brantford, a former Imperial soldier born with mysterious powers. After escaping the Empire with no memory of her past, she joins the resistance group known as the Returners. And from there, the plot expands into one of the richest ensemble stories ever told in gaming. What makes Final Fantasy VI stand out is how each character grows both mechanically and emotionally. There's no single protagonist. Every member of your party has their own arc, their own trauma, and a reason to fight. The Esper system lets you teach magic and shape each hero differently, creating unique builds that reflect your style of play. The game also pushes boundaries for its time. with large-scale battles, an unforgettable villain in Kefka, and a shocking world-changing event halfway through the story that redefines what progression means. Every moment feels earned, every piece of music unforgettable. Final Fantasy VI isn't just a classic, it's a masterclass in storytelling and evolution, both for its characters and for RPGs as a genre. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a tactical fantasy RPG that redefines what meaningful progression means in a role-playing game. Developed by Larian Studios, it drops you into the living, breathing world of Rivalan, where every action, decision, and ability you learn becomes part of an intricate web of consequence. You don't just level up, you evolve in a world that constantly reacts to you. You begin as a prisoner, marked by a mysterious source power feared by all. From the very first moments, the game gives you freedom to side with gods, defy them, or walk your own path entirely. Character creation is a journey in itself, offering deep customization through races, origins, and abilities. You can play as a noble lizard, an undead elf, or even a custom hero whose backstory unfolds through choices you make. Combat is turn-based but dynamic, built on an environmental system that feels alive. Fire burns through oil, poison ignites, and water conducts electricity. Every encounter is a tactical puzzle where creativity matters more than raw stats. Progression comes from mastering these interactions, learning to bend the battlefield to your will. Outside of battle, dialogue is just as important. Every decision has weight. Your companions remember your choices, question your morality, and sometimes even leave. With branching quests, multiple endings, and unmatched freedom, Divinity doesn't just make you stronger. It makes you responsible for the world that grows, changes, and burns around you. It's one of those rare RPGs where progression feels alive, unpredictable, and completely yours. Chained Echoes is a turn-based JRPG that feels like a love letter to the golden age of 16-bit classics. Imagine Chrono Trigger and Xenogears mixed into something entirely its own. Nostalgic, heartfelt, and deeply refined. Created by a single developer, it blends old-school inspiration with modern systems that make every step of progression meaningful. The story begins with familiar tropes: kingdoms at war, ancient technology, and a world on the brink of collapse. But it quickly grows into something much deeper. Set in the continent of Valandis, it explores political conflict, moral grayness, and the human cost of ambition. Beneath the fantasy lies a layered tale of guilt, redemption, and sacrifice. Every character feels alive, with motivations that unfold naturally through twists that constantly challenge what you thought you knew. Progression in Chained Echoes goes beyond traditional leveling. The overdrive system turns every battle into a rhythm of risk and reward, forcing you to balance attacks, buffs, and defenses to maintain peak performance. It keeps combat strategic, fast, and addictive. You also get to recruit allies and build your own base, unlocking bonuses and interactions as your team grows. Each new member adds depth and history to your journey, making exploration and progression feel rewarding beyond numbers. From its stunning pixel art to its masterful soundtrack, Chained Echoes captures the heart of the JRPG era, not by copying the past, but by perfecting it. It's proof that even the most nostalgic adventures can still evolve. And that wraps up today's list. These RPGs prove that real progression isn't just about leveling up or collecting loot. It's about growing, adapting, and shaping the world around you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves deep, story-driven games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.